here in Norwalk, Ohio. The Summit Racing Equipment Nationals. I'm Paul Page. Mike Dunn's alongside here. And Paul Lee and Cruz Pedregon are on the line. The 2010 World Cup continues on ESPN Monday. A pair of games in the round of 16. 9:30 in the morning, the Netherlands take on Slovakia. And then at 2, I told you they were going to do well, Mike. Brazil faces Chile. That's all part of our very special World Cup coverage.
That was a big stretch picking Brazil there, Paul.
I happen to be a very brave guy. Plus, I want to go down the carnival, and I figure maybe some Brazilian will hear that. And they'll say, Paul, why don't you come down? I'll pay your way.
There you go. Do the samba down, all the way down there.
Well, Jim Dunn and Paul Lee working pretty well together now, as Paul Lee ran a career best on Friday night. Now he comes up against Cruz Pedregon.
Only made one run, and that was in the Friday evening session. But I'll tell you, Cruz Pedregon yesterday in that last session in the heat went 4:12. That was a very impressive run also.
I'll go to Ethan Deep.
See the girls.
Hey. Oh, look at Paul Lee. Told you they were working together.
Yep.
A 4:45, 221-mile-an-hour pass. Nice going, Big Jim.
Paul Lee had 0.05 of a second advantage over Cruz Pedregon. Pretty much never looked back. He was driving down track, though. Paul was, as that thing put some cylinders out, moved over towards the center. He got off the gas just before the finish line, but luckily he had enough momentum to get him into the next round.
Well, let's go to Gary Gerald.
With Ron Capps advancing to the next round, how much of a relief for you to get that one out of the way concerning all the transition within your team and the resultant talk this week?
Well, surely as a driver, you don't want to be the reason after all this change and all the preparation all night long by the Napa guys that you don't want to be the reason something goes wrong, you don't get the win. And of course, Norwalk here this week, and the groove is unbelievably narrow. So on top of that, it's hot. But for Freightliner and Oakley and all the people on the team that stuck behind us, you know, I just tried to go up and do my job. I was a little distracted by Bodie's wife. He's got my backup guy outclassed by a lot. We're going to have to work on that. But seriously, you know, we made a lot of changes. Fire bottles in the back, a lot of stuff that the car has really changed a lot for the better, obviously, but we're going to have to step it up a little bit. Yeah, thanks, Ron.
So a lot of changes. That's interesting.